If you know that people around you are useless, change them. Sister, you will cook. I have to learn to forgive because this man will test me. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Henela Odun. If this is the first time you're seeing this pretty face, guys, do something nice, subscribe. And for all my family members, if you know you're a family member already, kisses to you. Thank you for the support, for always being here watching my videos and interacting with me on my content. I appreciate you guys so much. So what do you think of my new background? Is it nice? Yeah, I did a little change to where I normally shoot my videos, and I think I prefer this place more. Please let me know in the comment section what do you think. Do you prefer this space or where I used to use before for my videos? Okay, so now today's video we're going to be talking about 10 things a lady needs to do before getting into marriage. And I'm going to be very real, like I'm bringing it to you hot as it is, no sugarcoating here. Okay, so if that's something you're interested in seeing, let's get right into the video. Now these points I'm going to be sharing are points I think as a young lady, as a single woman, like you should have these things locked down before even thinking about marriage. It's not about maybe getting engaged or like when you have to wait till when you have a husband or when you have somebody that wants to marry you or something. As a single lady, you should have these 10 things locked down, because I feel when you have them, you're prepared, you're actually ready to get into a commitment, to get into marriage. I don't know if that makes sense. So number one thing I'm going to be talking about is finding yourself. As a woman, believe you me, if you don't know yourself, if you don't find yourself before you get into any man's house, marriage will swallow you up, and you spend time you would use building yourself or building your marriage, you will use it trying to find who you actually are, trying to find out yourself. Because a lot of times marriage is this very deep thing. I don't know, like people don't get to talk so much about the realities women face when they get into marriage, or I don't know, maybe they talk about it, but I just feel like it should be talked more. This is a conversation we need to have more of, because a lot of young girls go into marriage and just find out that at some point you just realize all you have is just the marriage. Like you don't even know, you can't reconcile with who you were before you got married. You don't even remember her, you don't even know who she was. Like when you sit down and think about yourself, or you think back, you're like, who was I? What did I like before I got married? What intrigued me? A lot of questions you'll be asking yourself. But if you had established who you are, established your personality, established everything about yourself before getting into marriage, when you are in marriage or when you are married, it will be an easy transition. Like you will just keep building on yourself. You won't feel like you're flatline confused, or you feel like you don't have a grasp of who you are. And when motherhood comes, it's a totally different ball game. So find yourself, know who you are before you get into marriage. Secondly, as a single girl, you have to define your goals. What goals do you want to achieve in your life? What do you want to attain? What levels do you want to attain in your career? What levels do you want to attain in your business? What levels do you want to attain in personal growth, personal development? What are your goals? Spiritually, what are your goals? Physically, mentally, define your goals. You have to have goals you live by. You have to have goals you aim to achieve, you work towards achieving. I don't know if that makes sense. You have to define your goals in the sense that before you get into marriage, you already have a road plan in your head, or like a roadmap of what you want your life to be. So that when you meet the man and you converse with the man, if his goals don't, align with yours, you know that, this thing cannot work, let me not deceive myself. Most times, a lot of girls get into marriage, a lot of young ladies get into marriage without even having goals, and then you see them living the goals of their partner. And then at some point, you now start feeling cheated, like, what am I even about? What's my own, like, what am I living for? What is my... As an adult, you get to that point where you realize, what do I even have? What am I working towards? What am I trying to achieve? So if you don't have that locked down as a single girl and then you get into marriage, it will be a struggle. Believe you me, it will be a struggle. So secondly, define your goals. Know your goals as a single lady. What are you working towards? What are you trying to achieve for your life? The next 5 years, what are you trying to work for or trying to achieve? The next 10 years, you look at yourself 10 years down the road, where do you want to be? What do you want to have achieved at that point? Now, this is not like a cast in stone kind of thing. Like, it mustn't go as you think or as you wish, but having that guideline helps you. As things change in your life, it's easier to, manipulate your goals or change them or switch them up or, enhance on them or reduce them. I don't know, but when you don't even have a roadmap you're living by, it's going to be difficult. So that's my second point. Define your goals. Thirdly, I'm going to talk about, this should have been number 1, but it's number 3. Know God. Yeah, know God. Know God for yourself. Know God as a single lady, get to know God, because when you know God, He has a way of guiding you. He has a way of ensuring that you don't make, the wrong decisions or get into the wrong relationship, to say that. So get to know God, because when you get married, you will need God. When you become a mother, you will need God. When you become a wife, you will need God for yourself, for your family, for your children. When you start having children, get to know God. Use your youth, use your singlehood or your single life to, have a firm relationship with God. It helps. It goes a long way, because when you get married, a lot of things keep happening and, distractions here and there. Things will keep coming up. It can be distracting. So as a single lady, get to know God, so that when you get into marriage, you are equipped, you have a firm relationship with Him already. So it's just going to flow. Even when you become a mother, things just keep flowing for you spiritually. So my number 3 point is get to know God. Number 4 point I'm going to be talking about is learn to communicate and express yourself. In every relationship you find yourself, even if it doesn't end in marriage, ensure that you communicate clearly. You don't assume. You don't think he knows what I'm feeling, or how I'm feeling about this thing, or how I feel about this thing, or don't assume. Communicate your feelings clearly, in very clear terms. You can, like, this thing you did, I don't like it. This is why I don't like it. This is what it did to me. This is how I feel about it. State it clearly, not by frowning or acting up or getting upset. Say what you feel, how you feel, how his action made you feel, or how a certain decision makes you feel, or how you feel about certain happenings in the relationship. Always communicate clearly. If it's something you don't know how to do, then as you are single now, start learning it. It's an essential skill. Even when you become married, it will help you. It will go a long way. So learn to communicate clearly and learn to express yourself. Don't hide your feelings or bottle up your feelings because of somebody else, or don't downplay how you feel about something. Believe me, when that thing when it builds up and then it blows up in your face, it's going to be worse than you actually just expressing it and saying it as it is and getting over with it. So yeah, that's why my number 4 point is learn to express yourself and communicate clearly. Number 5 point is have good friends and build good relationships. A lot of people, I don't know if that thing comes out of, I won't say it comes out of insecurity. I would say people have had bad experiences and they keep preaching the idea of, oh, when you're married, you don't need friends. When you're married, stay away from friends. I think that's a very bad advice to take, or it's a very bad thing to say. I believe generally human beings can be anything. They can be wicked, they can be kind, they can be selfish, they can be self-centered. It's a human being factor. It's not a man or woman factor. It's not a boy or girl factor. So if you have good friends as a single lady, keep them. Nurture such friendships, because when you get into marriage or when you get married, you get to the point where you need your friends. She can be single, she can be married. There's no law that stipulates that because you're married, all your friends must be married, or because you're single, all your friends must be single. No, I believe in relationship, like relating with people and getting to learn, whatever you can learn from them. People go through things, and their experiences build their character. Their experiences build their the way they relate with people. So, as a human being, if you have a good friend or you have a good circle of friends, please keep it, nurture it, build it, because even when you get married, you will still need that circle, you will still need that friendship. So for me, build good relationships and keep your friends. Have good friends. If you know that people around you are useless, change them. If they're not helping you achieve your goals, or pushing, I don't even know, why will you even be friends with somebody you're not, maybe you don't have this, you don't share goals, or you don't share dreams, or you don't share aspirations or anything. Why is that person still your friend? Number 6, sister, be acquainted with the kitchen. Yes, I know you don't like to cook. I know you don't like kitchen work, but my dear, you see, kitchen, as a married woman, you cannot run away from it. If they told me I'll be cooking the way I'm cooking now in my life, I've said this before on this channel, right? Like, I won't believe. If you ask me, the hardest part of being married is having to think of what the family will eat every day. That responsibility is tasking. It's a huge task, but it's your responsibility, and you will bear it. Unless you can afford, a chef, a living chef that will run the kitchen and all that. If you can afford that, my dear, you are very lucky. But I believe a better percentage of women out there can't afford that, or afford that luxury. So just prepare your mind. You will cook. Sister, you will cook. Like, you will cook. So just prepare your mind. If you're fortunate to, marry somebody that is domesticated and, can help in the kitchen, that's a plus. It is a plus. But if you don't have that, you're by yourself. But just get acquainted with the kitchen, because you will cook. You will enter the kitchen. The kitchen will be your But I believe you get my gist. Just get acquainted with the kitchen, because you will cook. You will cook. Serious cooking, no. Serious cooking, light cooking. But you will cook, sha. My next point is, know the marriage laws in your country. If you're in Nigeria, are you acquainted with our marriage laws? As a woman, do you know what rights you have in your marriage? If you're married by law, do you know what the law, on your part of the marriage, do you know what the law stands? Do you know where the law stands on your side? Like, how does the law favor you? What does the law say about you as a wife? What does the law say about your husband? What does the law say about marriage? Get acquainted with the laws in your country about marriage, because a lot of women just get into marriage these days and they're not even acquainted with what the law says, or what favors them in marriage, or how marriage works on the side of the law. It's one thing to have an idea of, oh, they did this to this woman that time because her marriage, one thing, or live off of stories we've heard growing up about marriage and stuff like that. And then there's this other part of marriage where you are equipped with what the law says. You are equipped with how, the law favors you, or what the law says about marriage, what is expected of you, what is expected of your husband under different circumstances, under different situations. Get to know the laws of marriage in your country, wherever you are. Just know and understand what the law says about marriage. I believe you're on social media, you're seeing what is happening, you're seeing how things are happening these days. Sister, equip yourself with the law, okay? It's as simple as that. I'm not going to, say so much about it, but just, I believe you get the gist, you get my point, right? Now I'm going to talk about the 8th point, which is have financial independence. Be financially independent, no matter how small scale or in whatever scale, just have financial independence. It can be a job, it can be your business, it can be a skill you sell, or like just have a source of income one way or the other. It will boost your self-esteem as a woman, and it will also earn you respect in your marriage, because I don't think we are in that era where women live off men totally. Social media might be saying one thing, but in reality, I'm just being blunt. This is me trying to be as honest as I can on this topic. But just have financial independence. A man's money is sweet, very sweet. But when your money is in the mix, it is sweeter. Take it or leave it, but that's what it is. You can have a business no matter how small scale, like I said, but just have something that is your own. One thing I've come to understand with, relating with so many women, I've come to understand that when you don't have that thing that is yours and you get to live off your husband 100%, it affects your self-esteem, it affects your self-worth, because sometimes you start feeling bad. Sometimes you'll be feeling down, like, even when you want to ask for money or when you want to ask for something, you'll be feeling bad because you're like, God, so this thing, I can't even do this thing for myself. So that's why I say gain financial independence before you get married, because it will help you. It will go a long way to help you. It's not even about the man or his family or anybody, but for you, for your own personal, for your sanity. Have something you're doing. It will help you. Yeah. That's what I'm going to say on that. The 9th point I'm going to make here is learn to forgive. You heard me right. I'm sure you were not expecting that, but learn to forgive. Because, I don't know, I think men have this natural gift of just testing you, pushing you to the wall. Like, it can be even on a very low scale, but they know how to test somebody. I don't know. They just know how to rile you up sometimes, and you just have to learn to forgive. If you cannot forgive, I don't even think you should be thinking of getting married, because forgiveness is a survival skill in marriage. Forgiveness, believe me, I'm very, forgiveness is a survival skill in marriage. And I believe as a young girl or as a single lady, just prepare yourself that I have to learn to forgive, because this man will test me. This man will test me. Just learn to forgive. Last but not least, as a single lady, establish a support system. I will say that again. As a single lady, establish a support system. Now, this support system can be your mother, it can be your friend, it can be your sibling, it can be an auntie, it can be your mentor. Just establish a support system, Like I said, remember I talked about friendship. Now, this is more concrete. This is more like that person you can go to at any time with any issue. Even if that person doesn't profess solutions immediately, but have somebody you can always, relate with on matters as regards your life. Have somebody you can always relate to, that you can always call upon, to share stuff with, to talk with, to express yourself. Because there are times you might be going through things that you don't just feel like talking to your husband about it, and you're like, okay, let me call my mom. Okay, let me call this person. But just have a support system. And if your husband is that support system, or the guy you're dating, or I don't know, but I just feel like you need a support system. You have a system. You need to have a system in place that you can always fall back on, no matter what. No judgment, no questions asked. Just, that safe place where you can always fall back to. That safe place where you can always go to and just, get encouragement, get support. It can be financial support, it can be moral support, it can just be, a listening ear, but just have a working support system, because as a woman, you need it. As a single lady, you need it. Even when you get into marriage, you will need it. So establish a support system for yourself. It will help you. Thank you for watching my video. If you enjoyed watching this video, please do click on the subscribe button, turn on the post notification, turn on the bell. So when I post, when I drop a content here, you're always going to be notified and you won't miss out on any juicy content I put out. Please do drop a comment in the comment section. Let me hear back from you. What do you think of the video? Did you learn a thing or two? What do you think? Drop it down below for me and subscribe again, okay? I'll see you in my next video. Thank you.